I'm such an idiot. It's so simple. The Borg hurt you, and now you're going to hurt them back.
In my century, we don't succumb to revenge. We have a more evolved sensibility.
Bullshit! I saw the look on your face when you shot those Borg on the holodeck. You were almost enjoying it.
How dare you?
Oh, come on, Captain. You're not the first man to get a thrill from murdering someone. I see it all the time.
Get out!
Or what? You'll kill me? Like you killed Ensign Lynch?
There was no way to save him.
You didn't even try. Where was your evolved sensibility then?
I don't have time for this.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your little quest. Captain Ahab has to go hunt his whale.
What?
You do have books in the 24th century.
This is not about revenge.
Liar!
This is about saving the future of humanity!
Jean-Luc, blow up the damn ship!
No! No! I will not sacrifice the Enterprise. We've made too many compromises already, too many retreats. They invade our space, and we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here! This far, no farther! And I will make them pay for what they've done!
See you around, Ahab.
And he piled upon the whale's white hump the sum of all the rage and hate felt by his whole race. If his chest had been a cannon, he would have shot his heart upon it.
What?
Moby Dick?
Actually, I never read it.
Ahab spent years hunting the white whale that crippled him. Quest for vengeance. But in the end, it destroyed him and his ship.
I guess he didn't know when to quit.
You're listening to The Play Pouch. Welcome back, everyone. This episode, we are discussing The Last of Us 2 and how much of a joke it is. Sorry,
The Last of Us 2 Electric Boogaloo, Pete.
Yeah, it's all kinds of shite. So let's jump right in. But before we do, if you like our podcast channel, please consider giving us a subscription, slap that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up tickle, and leave a comment. Let us know what you think about our musings. Okay, so Last of Us 2, as far as I'm concerned, is a bit of a waste of time in that, because, you know, like you, I've not actually played it, but I've watched a game movie of it. And the same with the first one. So I know the story, and it's diabolical.
Well, the first game was really good.
Yeah.
I played that on the PlayStation 3, wasn't it? PlayStation 3.
Was it 3?
Was it 3? I don't know. It feels like it was a long time ago. But if it wasn't 3, I could be mistaken. But I played it on its original form. So before any remasters or anything, and it was a really good story narrative driven game. And it came out a little bit when the zombie or the post-apocalyptic thing was kind of beginning to wane, like it was kind of becoming everywhere a little bit. But they did a little blend on the whole zombie thing by making it this kind of a fungi which exists in real life. I mean, if you actually go into it and you look into this fungi, it's actually a real life thing. It just
Okay.
doesn't. It just doesn't affect humans. It affects other creatures, I think, but it doesn't affect humans. So they've taken this kind of very realistic kind of fungi, and they've said, "Oh, what would happen if it went into humans?" So they added a very unique element on the whole zombie thing. So even though it looks a little bit like oh look, zombies are attacking, it's actually a bit more than that. But no, I mean, she's not a review of the first Last of Us, but great characters, and that part is the important part, as we'll get to the Last of Us 2. Great characters, great two main characters, surrogate father and daughter relationship, which carries the whole game. And if those two aren't as good a characters as they are, the game wouldn't be the masterpiece that it's generally regarded as.
Yeah.
There were support characters, but mainly it was about them. There were a couple of support characters, but generally their relationship carried the whole game. So I have played it, and initially I was looking forward to The Last of Us Part 2, and then you started to see some of the leaks. Do you remember, Pete, there was an actual leak where somebody came out with footage, and everyone who saw the footage was like, no, this can't be true. This can't actually be footage. This is being doctored. Yeah, this isn't legit. And it ended up being legit, and everybody's heartbroken.
I vaguely remember something like it, but the only thing that I remember was the video release that they showed at some sort of, I don't know whether it was the Game Awards or whether it was during some sort of E3 event, but it was like Ellie and another character being lesbos.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. When they're dancing together, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that was an attempt at winning the boys back. I don't know. But it turns out that the leak was true, right?
Yep, the footage that came out. I mean, look, guys, we're probably going to end up spoiling The Last of Us Part 2. So a little bit of a warning, I suppose, if you haven't played it and you really want to. We're probably going to spoil a couple of things. It's very hard to talk about it if we don't spoil it. So we are going to. Well, I'm going to anyway. I speak for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the leaked footage, this is the last warning for the spoilers, guys. The leaked footage showed Joel's death.
Okay.
And people, of course, didn't want to believe it. They wouldn't be so silly to do that, right? To kill Joel off?
Surely not, no.
No. Now, the context was that I don't think people knew exactly how far into the game it was. I mean, I think most people, including myself, kind of like, well, okay, I suppose he can die if it's done right, kind of thing. Because characters can die. It's not like you can't ever kill a character off.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it ended up that he dies within the first hour. So he's barely in the game. He gets killed, and then he's in a couple of flashbacks throughout the rest of the game. And so most people were like very taken back by that, and they feared for the worst. And as you said, Pete, neither one of us has played it, but we've both watched the cinematic movie per se of it, right? So we haven't done the gameplay stuff, which looks good. The actual gameplay looks good. It's stealth based like the old one. It reminds me of the first game, which the gameplay was pretty good for what it was. But in The Last of Us, one of the main characters is killed off right at the start. And not only that, but you end up playing as the killer of Joel. I mean, just when you think they couldn't be any more crazy, they have made you play as the killer of Joel.
Yeah.
And then they spend half the game where you play as this woman, and they try to force sympathy for her. They're saying, well, this is why she's killed Joel. This is the road that she went down to kill Joel. And they try to make her a sympathetic character. And I'm not saying that she doesn't have reasons to want to kill him. Storyline-wise, she does have reasons to kill Joel. But
why? Why did she want to kill Joel? Because you're going to have to give me some reminders here.
Okay, so the reason why she had killed Joel is that basically at the end of the first game, when Joel goes to save Ellie from having the operation done, right? They want to find the cure, and they think, and the key word is they think this operation is going to provide the cure, but they don't know. They think, and Joel is not prepared to let her die on a think, right?
Yeah.
So he literally has to kill his way through, killing a lot of the guards and everything like that from this place, who generally they're not villains, really. They are kind of, morally, they're kind of in the right. They are trying to save everybody, but they're kind of, the way they're going about it is it's too extreme. It's too high a price for Joel, because he doesn't want to lose his surrogate daughter. So he basically has to shoot his way through. And near the end of the game, more or less the last person you kill, or one of the last, is the doctor who's about to perform the operation. And it turns out the doctor who's about to perform this operation is Abby's father.
Right.
So you can see right away it's as simple as you can get. Joel killed my dad. My dad was my world. Joel killed my dad. All my dad was trying to do was to save the world, right? That's where she's coming from.
Okay.
And that sets her off in her own story of revenge. And then you play half the game in Last of Us 2. You play more or less half the game as Abby, as they have to try to sell you on, oh, she's not that bad of a person. This revenge has set her off on a path, but she's not really that bad, and her friends are not really that bad. And then, of course, you play as Ellie, who then goes around killing all of her friends. Do you understand? So, and what they do more or less is the way they designed the story is Ellie comes off looking absolutely horrible, whilst Abby is promoted as, you feel sympathy for Abby. They tried to make it for sympathy. And if the first game never existed and this was its own game without the first game, then maybe they would have achieved it. But because the two beloved characters in the first game, which everybody has played at, you've killed one of them off, destroyed their relationship in a process before they could properly really make up, and then you've turned Ellie, who is kind of a little bit of a sarcastic kind of smart-ass kid, you've now turned her into like this merciless killer who's all bent on revenge.
Yeah, so it's like it comes round in a circle almost, doesn't it? Because now Ellie wants to get revenge on Abby, and
and that's what the core of the game is. It's all about how revenge changes people and turns them into monsters, kind of thing.
Right. Okay. Now, I'd like to think of myself as a budding story writer. I like, when the mood takes me, I like writing, stories. And I've been studying formula and story progress and character arcing and all this kind of thing. And from my point of view, this whole idea of part 2 being, as you just described, it's not very good, mate. It's a bit amateur. I mean, I understand that Abby wants her revenge, but the way they've done it in this game, this part 2 game, the fact that they killed Joel off really early, it was supposed to come across as a sort of a shocker, and it worked, but it had a negative impact because people fell in love with Joel, people fell in love with Ellie, and you can't just kill off a hero character without any proper justification. And Abby just sort of turning up and that scene where they kill him, it's horrific, and it was way too over the top, and it didn't need to be that way. And I just felt, well, if you're going to kill Joel off, have him die at the end.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Have him go through another little story arc and help Ellie out, and maybe Abby starts off the story wanting to kill him, and then by the end she's changed her mind, but her friends have done the job for her and she didn't want them to. Something like that.
There's so many different ways they could have gone about it, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is why the writing has really let it down. It's Neil Druckmann is the guy who I think created it. And if it's him and only him, I don't know. I'm assuming he must have had assistants. But if he didn't, and it's him, then it's down to one guy. Because it's not just that the story doesn't make anyone look good. It makes them all look bad. Nobody comes out of it looking better. They destroyed the couple of good characters they had, and any new characters they've introduced are either dead by the end of the second game. They're either dead or they're destroyed. They've lost everything. So there's absolutely nothing nice comes out of any of it. Nothing. Well,
this was going to be my point. Is that if you're going to write a really grim story about a really grim world, a post-apocalyptic reality, there has to be some kind of light at the end of the tunnel. There has to be some kind of glint of hope.
None.
Right. And at the end of the first one, we kind of had that. In a way, because it's like, well, Joel doesn't want to risk Ellie dying just on some doctor's whim, thinking that, it might not work. I mean, I don't get it anyway. It's just like, why can't you just take a sample of her blood and then maybe do some studies and do
There's
it
some
the slow way?
reason, and I can't remember exactly what it is, mate, because it has been a long time since I've played it. But there's some reason why that they have to go further. I can't tell you exactly what the reason is off the top of my head.
Well, so, all right, that's fine. But like with the second game, it's like Neil Druckmann tried to continue this kind of really depressing world, and in some ways he I guess he kind of achieved some things, but
he's got his wish if that's what he wanted, bruv.
yeah, but if there's no light at the end of the tunnel and it's all grim and everyone dies and everyone's an arsehole, it's just like, well, great. I've just spent 20, 30 odd hours just like, going through this nightmare.
Honestly, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm actually getting more angry because I did like the first game so much. What they do to Ellie is a complete destruction of her character, and they take everything from her. They even go as far as to have her finger being bitten off by Abby at the end fight, so she can no longer play the guitar. The one thing that Joel taught her to do at the end, she's lost her girlfriend or her wife. She's lost their kind of surrogate daughter. She's lost Joel. She's lost everything, and she can't even fucking play the guitar at the end. And the end of the game is this sad music as she just walks off by herself and leaves the guitar. She lost absolutely everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, mate, to be honest, it was a really bad story. But you know that. And
Yeah.
You can't leave our hero character with nothing. That's not how you write a story. I think Neil Druckmann needs to go back to creative writing school, to be quite honest with you. It just absolutely dire. It's just like, really? You're gonna have it like this, and you think you're all big and clever for writing a story like this and making it all grim, or look what we've done, guys, look what we've done. Do you like it? No. Are you fucking insane, bruv? No, it's absolutely just the worst story I've ever come across. And I hate Game of Thrones with a passion. I don't like J.R.R. Martin one bit. And I think he's a fucking sadist. But this is up there with it. They're spooning each other in bed, mate. It's that bad.
And the thing is that they've killed for me, they've killed the franchise. I don't know if they even were to make a third one. I mean, they've lost the fan base, really. But you know what makes it worse is that they've sacrificed all the goodwill and everything they had in the first game, to tell a story of Moby Dick. Now, I don't know if you've ever read Moby Dick, Pete.
Captain Ahab has to go hunt his whale.
Exactly. And that's exactly the story. Vengeance ate her up. It ate Abby up, and then it eats Ellie up. And that is the whole fucking point of the whole fucking story. That is it.
But newsflash, dude, you can't have a story like that in a video game.
Neil Druckmann thinks otherwise.
You can't do it. You have to give us a glimmer of hope. Give us a reward for going through all of that shit. Don't just leave us with such a depressing, sorry...
Well, no, mate, the reward is this, is that she doesn't kill Abby at the end.
Oh, wow.
She doesn't. So that's the reward. The reward is that she finally realised right at the last minute, and I suppose they both finally realised, because in the end they don't kill each other. She lets Abby go. So at the end, it dawns on her that maybe I shouldn't be so obsessed with revenge. That's it. That's it.
She needs to kill Abby, basically.
No, mate. No, I bet you if there is a third game, they team up, bruv. I can see it already. They team up. 100%.
No. Well, yeah, if they do, then yeah. It's
Mate,
just like
they will.
franchise.
They will team up. I guarantee that they team up next game.
Well, the franchise is dead in a lot of people's eyes. So, but can we just move delicately, very delicately, towards a specific scene where
your favourite scene? This is the scene that you keep telling me you dream about every night, mate.
What? Oh, please, no. God, I wake up in sweats. I think everyone knows what scene we're referring to. It's when Abby is being pounded, and I'd go as far as to say is being murdered brutally from the backside. And we're treated to a close-up shot of Abby's face as this is going on.
Druckmann loved that scene. He probably fought tooth and nail to have that scene included.
It's like, wow. I mean, like, if you've got like young people playing this, and all of a sudden that scene comes up, and maybe their mum's in the kitchen nearby cooking, and she's like, what the fuck is you doing?
I can't remember, bro, if it's a 15 or 18.
Still, it's regardless.
It's got to be at least a 15, yeah? Sure.
Regardless, young teens are going to be playing it, whether they're 15 or 18 or not, right? And so this sort of thing is going to come up. No. I've always said about nudity in films, and I can't remember whether there's any nudity, but with
yeah, there kind of is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like with nudity in games, you can't do it. You can't have nudity in games. If there's going to be nudity, you have to warn us, and you have to give us a switch to turn it on or off.
What about the Mass Effect games? They had it.
Yeah, but I still stand by that decision. You need to let us know that there's going to be nudity, and you need to give us an option in the menus to switch it off if we don't want it, because it's not fair. It really isn't fair. I mean, we're not all like sitting on our own playing games, right? So it's like you have to. Anyway, that scene was horrific. I don't ever want to see that again. It's burned forever in my retina.
Can I just add, Pete, to that scene as well, just for the record, right? A little bit of context. Me personally, I'm not as bothered of you about the nudity. Me personally, what bothers me more is the fact that the dude that who's fucking her is cheating on his pregnant girlfriend with her as well. So not only is it not particularly lovely scene anyway, but it's also quite a morally corrupt scene as well, because the girl she's pregnant. That's bad. He's cheating on her, and she's also Abby's friend. So they're both being complete bastards to the girl who is pregnant. Just for the record, let's add that in there as being, these are meant to be nice characters. Well, they're not particularly very good people, are they? Any of them?
So yeah, I mean, Neil Druckmann, if you're listening, you're a dick. And if you felt like this was going to be a good story, you were sorely mistaken. And, the people that do like it are just, they're not very experienced about the real world. And when you have a post-apocalyptic environment like this, it can't all be depressing. It can't be.
Pete, I need to stop again, and I want to include this as well, and then I'll let you have at it. Also, right, probably the last worst thing, we've already included all these morally very questionable things. They kill dogs in this game. When you play as Ellie, in their attempt to make you hate Ellie even more, when you play as Abby, AngryJoe covered this, when you play as Abby, you pet the dog, and the dog's all friendly, as most normal people would do. They're nice to the dog. They pet the dog. They even throw the ball for the dog. When you play as Ellie, you have to kill the dog. There's no way around it. The game forces you to kill the same dog.
Why?
Because they want you to hate Ellie. They want you to they will do everything to make you hate Ellie. They want to destroy her character at every level possible.
I don't understand why they want us to hate Ellie so much.
Neither do I.
I mean, like...
And also, as you play as Ellie, you kill the pregnant woman. You kill her.
For fuck's sake. And
you kill the other cheating bastard as well, which personally I wouldn't lose any sleep over that one. So the dude who ends up fucking Abby, you kill him too. Ellie kills them all. She kills them all. The only person who lives on Abby's side is Abby. And there's a little kid who kind of plays a role who actually does survive. That's part of the reason why I think Ellie lets Abby go, because she's got a kid, a transgender kid, I think, as well. And I don't want to get into that shit.
Okay, well, look, I mean, the game is woke, and we have to give it that label because it's trying to sort of like bring in this whole masculine females. I mean, you just look at Abby, for fuck's sake. She looks like a man. And I don't care anymore. I just, for me, it's just gross. It was just an abomination of a story. You took the first part which was so lovely, which was so emotional, and such an experience of survival and two people coming together in really difficult circumstances, having an ending where some doctor didn't care about Ellie's life and Joel decides to go back and rescue her. And then you give us this piece of garbage where it's just like doom, depression, moping, all this kind of feministic ideology and stuff like that. Now, I'm all for feminism, but it's the classic feminism, not this neo-Nazi-esque sort of like you have to abide by our decisions, even though we stand for equality, so to speak. It's like they're cherry picking. I like this about male culture, but I don't like that about male culture. And you still have to buy the dinner, right? It's just like, nah, mate, it's not how this shit works. You want equality, then you have to take the bad with the good. So with this story, it's like what they're doing is they're just pandering to wokeism. When it comes down to it, and
you know what, mate? I don't even. I honestly don't give a shit. Like if Abby's got muscles, good for her, right? Do I find it realistic in that world? How she's able to maintain that physique? I have my doubts when there's meant to be shortages. That's not. I actually don't find it that realistic. But that aside, I don't give a shit. She's a shit character. That's what I care about more, right? If she had muscles up to if she was roided up to the gills, whatever. If she was a great character, I wouldn't care. She's a piece of shit, as most people in this game are, and the ones who weren't pieces of shit become pieces of shit. So, what message What message are you trying to tell me? That people are shitty. Okay, I already kind of figured that out. I didn't need your game to tell me. Honestly, mate, that humankind has a potential for vengeance. I already knew that. Didn't need you to do this to tell me that. You know what I mean? Well, I don't get what the point was, Pete. If you can tell me what the point was, if Druckmann's point was just to make a stupid kind of Moby Dick story, then okay. I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's it. That's it. You've made your Moby Dick story. You've destroyed a franchise. Congratulations. I don't know what else to say.
Congratulations. Here's a Razzie Award.
Yeah.
Anyway, the storyline being as it is, it's not all bad, bruv. Okay,
Tell you what, as a game, mate, the graphics are amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say graphics, mechanics,
accessibility. They've got all these accessibility options. I think it won an award that year. It didn't win any Game of the Year awards, but it won like accessibility stuff because it's got all these different things for like people who are like colorblind and stuff like that. That stuff's great. Shame about everything else.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, like, let's hope there's not a third one, and if there is, it's with the old crew, not this bastardized ramble of bellends that just don't know what they're doing and don't know really how to craft. If you wanted to do that kind of thing, you should have made a TV show like he's doing now.
Well,
right? Why did you have to put all that in a game?
You know what, bruv? I'll be curious to see if Pedro Pascal and all stuff. I wonder if they'll kill him off, and if there's I wonder how far they're going to mimic the games. Because if they start bringing in Abby and they start going down that road, well, we'll see if they have the balls to do that.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on to ratings. All right, because we've pretty much sort of bragged the entire topic that is Last of Us 2. I'm going to go in straight away and give it a rating that I don't generally give to games, and it's not often I give this rating. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 0 out of 10. Despite the graphics, despite the mechanics, despite everything that's going for it, it does not make up, in my opinion, to the horrible storytelling and the fact that it leaves you feeling worse than when you started, basically. If there was a glimmer of hope at the end, maybe I'd give it a sort of a 3 or a 4. But because there isn't, and because they purposefully tried to make us hate Ellie when there's no real rhyme or reason for us to hate her, it gets a 0. And your rating?
You know what it's like? It's like finding the prettiest girl in the world, right? And then you realise after you're dating her for a while that she's the evilest bitch in the world.
Oh yeah, no, I know how that feels, mate.
Yeah, she's the prettiest girl. She's really pretty, right? And you look at her and you think, wow, what an angel. And then you dig deeper and you realise just how evil she really is.
Yeah.
That is what this game is. It's extremely pretty. They do a lot of things right on the surface regarding like accessibility, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The mechanics for the game, look, it's not the best gameplay you'll ever find, but it's serviceable. It's a stealth game. More often than not, it's a stealth game. There is some combat sections, but more often than not, it's a stealth game. The stealth is okay. It's not the best I've ever seen, but it's all serviceable. It's all right. But the soul is evil. It's wicked. And if you play these games as a form of escapism, which so many of us do, I can't think of a worse game
Yeah.
because you're left feeling. I mean, I'm not going to get too like depressive or stuff, but the world's already not a great place. Do you want that? Do you really want that in your games? Do you want that feeling when you stop playing of just dread and just like, well, peaceful is shitty. Okay. I mean, do you want that?
Well, it clearly is supposed to be a TV show story, not a game story.
I don't know what Druckmann was going for. I don't know. He obviously felt he needed to reteach people about Moby Dick. That's all I can think of. That for some reason he thought that maybe that people just didn't understand that vengeance can consume you. I don't know. It's not a new story, mate. It's not. I'm not being funny. It's not a new story. That I think that lesson's already kind of out there. You didn't have to destroy. You didn't have to go this far just to teach people that story. So for that, you want to rate in? I'll give it a 1 because I don't give games 10. I don't. I suppose I can't. I have to go it the other way. I can't give a game a 0. I suppose, but it's a 1 out of 10 because I don't know why you want to play it. It's a video game. I don't know why you want to play it. Video games are meant to make you feel good at the end of the day. I'm not saying you can't have bad stuff in games. Of course you can, but as Pete said, what are you left feeling? You're left feeling bad about everything.
Yeah, you just want to go out and start drowning things.
Just call the game Depression the Game.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I mean, put warning signs. Show when you're at school and you're teaching people who want to be like therapists. Have them play this game.
Yeah.
Have them learn about depression and stuff like that. Have them play this game. Because everybody gets destroyed. Nobody comes out looking good. Everything is bad. Everything ends up the worse than it was before. And there's no hope. You might as well just grab a gun and shoot yourself. That's what this game more or less says. Because there ain't no hope.
Well,
fuck it, mate. Fuck it.
My recommendation is that we burn all the copies of this game and they remake the second part and just ignore this one as a canon sort of story.
Speaking of the remake, that was kind of the original why we were kind of like brought this up, because in case you didn't know, folks, and it's only been made official very recently.
Yeah.
In the next couple of months, January, I believe, they are remastering this. They're not remaking it, so don't get too carried away, guys.
We shouldn't call it. Yeah, we shouldn't call it a remaster. We should call it really polishing a turd.
Pretty much. And unless they want to add an alternative ending or something, which Ellie can have a half decent ending, I'm not sure what they'd have to do to get that to happen. You'd probably have to make a completely new game, to be honest. I don't see how she ends up. Even if they changed it and said, "Oh, you can kill Abby at the end," okay, that still doesn't leave her in a great place. She might have got her revenge, so to speak, but she still ends up with nothing. Everyone's gone. Yeah. So even if she would have killed her at the end, it wouldn't have been. She still would have lost everything.
Or maybe Joel didn't die. I don't.
Then you'd have to remake every game, the whole game from the point.
Fuck's sake. Well, anyway, I mean, yeah, it's just a bastard game, and it shouldn't have come out, and no one should have given what's his fucking name, Neil Druckmann, so much power, because it is just like, it's really bad. And yeah, we all want to have fun when we're playing games, varying different kinds of fun, torturous fun and good fun. But this isn't anything. This is just like, well, I would have watched this as a TV show, but not as a fucking game. But anyway, I digress. And there it is, people. Let us know what you think about the game. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you agree with us?
I would. A request for me now. If you really see things really different to us, that's great. But please let us know that if you did enjoy this game and you learned something from this game other than Moby Dick, then please, by all means, I would love to know personally if people did get good vibes out of this game, if they learned anything positive from this game.
Yeah.
That's it, Pete.
And with the clip that we showed you at the beginning of the podcast, is anything to go by, then you people should have learned this lesson a very long time ago, and we wouldn't need to have some blasphemous game to tell us this. So anyway, we're going to leave it there. If you like our podcast, please consider subscribing, slap the notification bell, tickle the thumbs up button, and leave us a comment. And we will see you next time.
We'll see you next time, guys. And also, there's many, many good games that make you feel many, many good things. Don't play this one.
Yes, look out for our top fives coming next month.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.